ASMR TV reviews. I'm Deandra Reviews. Check out deandrareviews.all.com where I review entertainment for the light it gives. Today's review is on Shadow and Bone Season 2. We got some azurite, which is a perfect prosperity stone. It's all about bringing in that power. And we have my little bell, my bell knocker. I don't know what you call these, but we're just going to hammer into your aura some really good azurite. Azurite is really perfect for prosperity, for feeling like the bad bitch you are. And being that we're talking about Shadow and Bone Season 2, you can't get any badder than Alina. I think that this season, Alina is just giving me Daenerys Targaryen, just knocking through that aura. Like before season 8 made her go crazy. Like it was so empowering to see her kind of journey with the Six of Crows. See her journey as a leader. Even though her love affair with Mal became more of the forefront, it's like nothing overpowered that this is a story about somebody learning to own their destiny, learning to own themselves and actually want it. Because so often in these stories of like, I didn't know I was a super powerful being all my life. I was an orphan and I was left and abused and traumatized. I didn't know I was like secretly a space galactic goddess. You know, all those storylines. There's this resistance to power. And I think that what makes Alina so refreshing, and in turn what made Daenerys so interesting, is it's like, no, I want it. I actually want power. I actually want to be a leader. I actually believe that I would be an amazing leader. And I want to face off anybody who says that I can't. Even though I never had a history of anyone saying I can. Because that was what was, I'm doing a lot of Alina and Daenerys Targaryen comparisons, but screw it. Let's go for it. Because that was what always stood out to me about Daenerys. This was somebody who had no emotional, mental, physical support system. She was abandoned, enslaved, even raped. I mean, she was at the bottom of the barrel, and she rose up out of a desire to fulfill this destiny that she swore was hers. But it was also, I know I'm powerful. I know I can be powerful. And I'm completely ignoring the lunacy of season 8 when I say this. And I think that's what's so cool about Alina. You're just like, you are great. And I think you'll be an awesome leader. And I think you could really do this, Sun Saint. Let's go for it. And I would say one of my biggest complaints about this season of Shadow and Bone Season 2 is that we waited years for this. And it's in those years, it's become one of the few fantasy series that are actually on. Fantasy is becoming this really dying genre. And I think it's because execs expect us to rely on comic books to feed us that magic. But not every fantasy is based on comics, and not every comic is based on fantasy, because even having a superpower, there's magic, you know? There's olden creatures and kingdoms. Like, there's so many levels to fantasy that we are missing currently in TV, and it sucks because, yes, fantasy is expensive, but when you think of the many people that dreamed through Lord of the Rings, through Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, that build their own worlds in their heads because of the magic of these series, it's just like we really do need it. For the sake of our souls, we need a little big imagination, all types of imagination. And I think that Shadow and Bone Season 2 delivers that, but I don't know, if I'm quite honest, if I felt like it delivered it. I'm going to call this Alina's Azurite, because honestly, like, I hope you're feeling the energy of just like prosperity power. Yes. I felt like waiting 2 to 3 years for this series just oddly wasn't worth it. Like, we could have done this sooner, you know? We could have gotten here a little bit quicker. You know, and knowing that it might be another 2 to 3 years till we see the second one, that's the feeling that it's just like, oh, I don't know if you're as good compared to how long I wait for you. And that's one of the biggest problems with fantasy series too. They take so long. They don't even take that long to make. They just get long. They take long to get released. My God. And seeing Alina so empowered, it was just like, give me more. Give me more. Especially because Kirigan was such a weird villain this season. I think that he not only revealed how evil he was, but how much of a baby he was. There's something really childish to his villainy that I find fascinating, because a lot of villains are childish. They are selfish. They are self-centered. They are incapable of handling pain compared to how they hand it, you know? And this season, Kirigan just totally ups the evil, especially with the Six of Crows and his attacks against Ravka. You're just like, okay, he's a bad guy, but there's something incredibly self-pitying. And so often with villains, I think some of the most charming villains are A, the ones that like smile a lot and appear really friendly, and B, the ones that, similar to Kirigan, have these really traumatizing backgrounds. I mean, he too was enslaved and chained and beaten and chased across for hundreds of years. His mother taught him magic, who it also turns on him to survive. And you could tell that maybe she wasn't exactly Mother of the Year, you know? But I think his storyline is really interesting when you juxtapose it against Alina, because it's the story of how long do you carry the pain of the past, the pain that others have caused you, until you actually become healing and healed with yourself and healing towards others. When does the pain just leave blame and in turn leave? He'll never get an acknowledgement of how much harm was caused to him. He'll never get an acknowledgement of how poorly he was raised to deal with that harm. But he also really caused it. Like, he causes horrible things. And he made mistakes too. And when you see somebody like Alina, who's been as wounded as him, trying to save people, trying to heal people, having some real chemistry with her team, I think her and the Six of Crows are awesome. And there's a rumored spinoff, and I am here for it. I am here for it. I just wish there was more Nina Matias, because I love their couple. But how long do you carry the worst others have done to you to excuse why you are the worst with others? When does it become your fault again? How much was it always your fault? You know? And even when it's just, it's so murky. And it's so interesting that I picked Azurite, because Azurite is, again, about prosperity. But part of gaining your prosperity is realizing you gotta let go of the bad. You gotta trust the good in you to manifest, reach, and go for the good in others, the good in this world, the good that you desire. And Kirigan never really did that. He never trusted good. He never trusted his better. His obsession with Alina is in part because she gave him this breath of life that he had been longing for, but he didn't know how to hold it. He didn't know how to protect it. And even when he tried, he did it out of darkness, out of obsession, out of fear of losing it, and not actually just loving it. And that was on him. And I think that makes him a way more fascinating character than what people may think or analyze on the surface. Because yes, he is Ben Barnes. Yes, he is Ben Barnes, and there's a lot of daddy crushes out there. But he's a character, he's an actor that always plays villains, in part because he looks like himself. And he gives him that wounded puppy. If only somebody had hugged this dog, he wouldn't be a pit bull fighting and biting everybody. By the way, pit bulls are the most loving, trusting animals. Love, save, guard pit bulls. The point is, he radiates the self-pity it takes to be a villain. And Alina radiates the self-empowerment it takes to be a hero. And I think this season really nailed that. I thought the special effects were upped, the storyline was upped. I just don't think we need to wait that long for this up. So I really hope you enjoyed that. These are 10-minute Reiki sessions just to boost you up, make you feel better, hold a discussion. Please comment and subscribe. Thanks, guys.